Am I supposed to be that low?
Oh, we're framed kind of wide. Oh, balls. I don't think it's too late for us to fix it. Oh, welcome to the WAN show, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we got a great show for you all today. Lots of good topics. Man, there's a lot of hazardous tech going around.
Yeah.
Alexa apparently tried to electrocute a child by advising them to do something spectacularly dangerous. Also, Asus has apparently recalled the Z690 Hero motherboard due to it being a fire hazard. What else we got? Is there any good news this week, Luke? Please.
TikTok passes Google as the most visited website.
I said good news.
Is that good news?
Could you please give me some good news?
Is that fantastic? Also, there's an incredibly fast SSD from Intel.
PCIe Gen 5, ladies and gentlemen.
And Ryan Shroud is stoked.
Yeah. Good old Ryan Shrout from PC Perspective. Intel. From Intel. All right, let's roll that intro.
There we go. What?
Bye.
I'm good, thank you.
Milk chocolate with caramel and
Welcome
sea
back.
salt. Hey, welcome back, Anthony. I'm glad you were able to get back. Anthony was like stuck because I don't know if you guys saw that like flights were canceled because like airlines don't have enough staff and stuff.
Apparently my head's been under a rock.
Yeah, no, the whole travel industry has been completely screwed. Apparently Hong Kong's like crazy draconian quarantine rules make it so that any pilot that like lands there like has to quarantine immediately. So like some pilots for, I think it's Cathay Pacific, are just spending basically their whole life in quarantine. They're like bleeding pilots like crazy. Is it Cathay? I can't remember. It's one of the like Trans-Pacific like Asian airlines.
Right.
Anyway, let's jump right into the big topic today. Hey, thanks Alexa. Amazon's voice assistant was asked for a challenge to do by a 10-year-old girl. Alexa responded with, plug in a phone charger about halfway into a wall outlet. Then, touch a penny to the exposed prongs.
Smart.
Now,
Good.
I want to make it really clear that Linus Media Group, the WAN Show, Luke Lafreniere Incorporated, whatever.
Sure.
Every
Yeah.
possible
Why not?
every possible personal and legal entity involved in this show does absolutely not recommend doing that. That is a very, very bad idea. At worst, you could, at best, let's start with at best. At best, you could create an extremely loud noise and an arc. Well, it's not even an arc. That's just conduction. Yeah. So at best, you could create an extremely loud noise and blow your circuit breaker. At worst, you could start a house fire and, everyone could die in the building.
I think it does say, no, it says then touch. So you're still holding it too.
I guess so. So you could burn your fingers. That would be pretty bad too.
It'd be pretty rough.
So this is currently known as the Penny Challenge. It started on TikTok and other social media roughly. The most viewed website. Thank you, Luke. That's very helpful.
No problem.
Roughly a year ago, Inside Edition did a report on it in January. Crazily enough, it's not even the stupidest thing that's ever been a social media trend. Have you seen...
Tide Pods?
Yeah, Tide Pods was pretty good. Did you see the one where people were like building human pyramids and like getting seriously injured falling off of them because they have no training whatsoever?
No.
And stuff like that. I don't know. Anyway, Amazon quickly responded after being made aware of the issue. Customer trust is at the center of everything we do.
Is it?
Is it though? Is it really? And Alexa is designed to provide accurate, relevant, and helpful information to customers, said Amazon in a statement.
It must not be designed very well.
As soon as we became aware of this error, we took swift action to fix it. So, here's the question though. Realistically, how do you thread that needle between providing, up-to-date, trendy information to your users and making sure that you don't advise them to do something that hasn't been vetted by some kind of like safety panel?
Well, you could hire people to make sure that what it says isn't super stupid.
Sorry, you mean hire people to develop an AI? to make sure that it's not stupid?
No. I genuinely think, especially in regards to any form of advice or suggestion that isn't a product, I think that should really be filtered through people. Like reading this I was stunned that this actually made it through, and this almost made me think like, I know there's a lot of people that are against the idea of automated cars driving on roadways right now, especially extremely still in testing versions.
Yeah,
which there's quite a bit of.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around.
Like, do we have that same type of issue with suggestions that could go to your kids to plug things into walls and electrocute themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're gonna beta test, an autonomous vehicle with your children in it, you might as well put pennies in wall sockets. Not advice. This is not advice.
Yeah, this is nuts. I don't know. I really think AI is not there yet to be able to automatically detect if a suggestion that it could make for a challenge or something like that could be extremely dangerous to you.
Yeah.
And it's I don't even think we're necessarily close. There's a lot of understanding that it would have to have about the world.
Now, here's something I want to know. What are the odds that, left to her own devices, this kid wouldn't have come up with something worse on her own? I mean, I did some stupid stuff like playing with fire when I was a kid.
But that's external though. This is a suggestion coming from a company's product.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's not just dumb kid doing dumb thing.
Yeah, okay,
right.
That's fair. I'm lucky to be alive, truthfully. I grew up in the boonies, all right?
You do some stuff.
We weren't allowed to watch TV until after everyone had finished their dinner, and I had a sibling who was one of those, a slow eater.
Ah.
Yeah.
Kindred spirit.
I had a slow eater sibling, and we had a rule. Not only could you not watch TV until everyone was done their dinner, you actually could not leave the dinner table until everyone was done their dinner. So you know how I eat. Yeah. I think the only person in this building who eats faster than me has got to be David Gauthier.
Oh,
Have you seen that man consume food?
I don't think so.
It's you blink and you miss it.
Maybe that's why.
He inhales food. Anyway, the point is I'm an efficient eater. For me, eating is not about
I love that audio is coming through right to my ears.
Yeah. Look, it's not about this. Is not about an experience. This is about how many calories and of the correct vitamin nutrient mix I am ingesting and depositing into my stomach.
Move on to other tasks.
Yeah, so I can go do something else, please.
I vaguely remember us having somewhat similar rules, and then my family just getting really frustrated with how slow I ate, and then we just abandoned all of them. I'm pretty sure that happened. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that happened.
I wish that had happened for me for years. For years, I had to wait for my sister to finish her food, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. I should be able to leave. I know the idea is that as a family, you sit down and enjoy a meal together. I'm not enjoying this. I'm not talking to any of you because I'm sitting here stewing. I'm festering. I'm furious. I want to leave now. Anyway.
You're mentioning stupid things you did when you were a kid. I was in this camp thing. I don't remember exactly what it was, but we were out camping for a weekend. And my parents weren't there. It was just like the troop or whatever.
Yeah.
And I got some kids that were trying to. This is gonna sound ridiculous.
Okay, screecheroos and hammers, right?
No.
Okay,
no.
something else.
They were finding really, really, really small twigs and sticks, and then wrapping duct tape around it, lighting it on fire, and trying to smoke it. And I caught them doing that.
What kind of kids were you hanging around with?
What the heck are you doing? And I told them, I guess, because that isn't. I wouldn't even normally tell on people that were screwing around, but this was just so absurd that I was like, someone else has to know about this. So I told them, and then if I remember correctly, both I and all of them got yeeted out of the camp. I think
you did.
I think I got yeeted out because my mom heard about it and was just like, no, if that kind of stuff is going on, I'm taking him out now. I don't think I was like kicked out by the camp. I think my mom was just like, this is done. This is over.
I could see your mom doing that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably the most ridiculous individual thing that I remember any kids doing when we were growing up.
Okay. For Shrug IDK, that's not tattletaling. Okay, so we actually have
there's a scale.
There's a line. Okay, so tattling is telling on someone just to be mean. If something is legitimately dangerous, then it's not tattling; it's alerting the appropriate authorities, which is not the same thing.
Yeah.
And if someone is actually inhaling like burnt duct tape fumes.
Like I was thinking like permanent damage,
like,
you know, like you're going to screw your brain up or something. And I was a kid. And even then I was like, you don't grow up properly from this.
Man,
something bad is happening.
Luke,
here.
the stories are coming in. We got Handsome Harold over in Float Plane chat goes, one kid in a high school in my town tried smoking weed in a bounce dryer sheet so they wouldn't smell like weed. Ended up in the hospital.
Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Oh no, Jaden. Kids in my grade 8 class crushed up rocket candies and snorted them. Okay, so for the Americans out there, those are what you know as Smarties.
Smarties, yeah.
Yeah, so they're those little like powdery circular candies that come in the little wrapper like this. They're called rockets here. Snot rockets, apparently, from at Jaden's school.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's really awful. Okay, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I took part in many a mischief and witnessed many a mischief and did not tell, but most of them were just like kids screwing around.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Not like potentially permanent brain damage from inhaling.
Yeah. So Twitch chat's like, yeah, who didn't snort Smarties? Like, typical Twitch chat, you know, YouTube chat, Float Plane chat. They're like,
oh, wow,
yeah, that's
horrible.
like super weird. That thing that happened one time.
Twitch chat's like, I'm doing it now.
This is totally normal. This is a trend on the platform right now. Who isn't snorting Smarties and rockets? It's the best.
Oh, man.
Once again, I would like to just point out that we do not, in fact, endorse any of this behavior.
None of this. None at all.
Yeah, the only things you should be snorting are good old-fashioned oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide mixtures, all right?
Nice. Very good.
Love it. All right, let's jump into our next topic here. More dangerous technology. Asus has apparently recalled their ROG Z690 Hero motherboard. We actually, bad timing, uploaded a video featuring this motherboard right around the time the recall was sort of happening. Obviously, we recorded the video way before, but there are at least 6 reports of these motherboards allegedly, I mean, it's not really allegedly at this point, Asus has actually like initiated a recall, catching on fire. 6 reports now.
Oof.
Like, how are you supposed to get the error code? Okay, what's the I was on fire error code, Luke?
Let me just Google Asus error code fire.
Yeah, 666. That's the one, right? I'm sorry, we're in a hellish inferno here, boys.
Just adds a number.
Oh man, I heard the best joke the other day, but I'm gonna tell it to you later.
Oh,
so just remind me to tell you a joke.
Okay. On show or?
On show.
Okay.
So Reddit user, the Max XHD, posted 13 days ago about how they had a board fail. They bought a new one, rebuilt the system with a new power supply as well, only for that board to fail too. So users either get code 53 indicating a memory issue, or the unlucky ones, the board melts or catches on fire.
Nice.
BuildZoid from Actually Hardware Overclocking thinks it's a capacitor being installed backwards.
In pictures of the boards, he points out that in some cases, the polarity stripe on a capacitor near the memory and error LED is on the other side. Apparently, Jace 2 Cents also agrees that is probably what's going on.
That's a little awkward.
Yeah.
So this could be due to bad quality control at the factory or using multiple sources for capacitors, so they look slightly different. But if you bought an ROG Maximus Z690 Hero, you can check the serial number at Asus's support page. Our discussion question for this one from Nicolas Plouf is, how many motherboards have Linus and Luke seen fail over the years? And what is up with this past year or two being so bad? I actually don't even know if this past
Huge
year or
amounts.
two was even so bad. I'd say we've seen like a ton of motherboard failures over the years. The problem for us though is that we never have a significant enough sample size to say, okay, actually I shouldn't say that. There have been some dud motherboards over the years, and actually the worst one that I'm aware of that ever existed was another one from Asus.
Well, if you did IT work back when you and I were growing up, then it was,
in the Enforce days.
Well, liquid caps, right?
Yeah, that too. Okay, so that goes back a little bit farther. Yeah,
But like I worked with those a lot back when I used to work in computer repair. Like a huge percentage of the time, one of the standard things I would do is if someone was like, "Yeah, my computer's not turning on," I'd take the side panel off and look for like leaking caps.
Yeah.
Because that was just so common back in the day. So yeah, lots of motherboards. I've seen lots and lots of motherboards fail. It's been kind of a thing for a long time where you know there's a chance your motherboard's going to fail, but your CPU probably won't.
Yeah, well, that's we've got a video coming about that quite soon, actually, where we try to figure out what is the best used CPU to buy. And
I think I'm assuming you guys go over this in the video, but a big factor of that is going to be how much the motherboard costs.
Exactly, because that's enormous, right? Because you might be tempted to go buy the $20 overclockable Xeon on eBay, but you might not realize, oh shoot, I'm going to need $60 RAM to get this going and an $80 motherboard. And meanwhile, I could have just spent $60 or $70 on, a first gen Ryzen, and then I could buy a brand new board that doesn't have, a ton of years on it already.
Super sus.
I could buy DDR4 memory instead of like old DDR3 memory that for whatever reason is as expensive, if not more so.
Yeah.
And I'm getting way better performance. And so it ends up having a ton of really cool lessons in it. So one is how to bargain shop, right?
Nice.
So not just
Always
looking
good.
at components in isolation. And then the other cool lesson that we accidentally drove home was that Alex overclocked all the platforms, because by his logic, if you're trying to squeeze the absolute most out of an aging platform, you should absolutely be overclocking it. So he ended up with, I think it's either 3 or 4 different CPUs that all happened to cap out around 4 gigahertz. And we did a video recently talking about how gigahertz doesn't matter. And in the video, this is it's so hard to have these conversations. In the video, at one point I say, so gigahertz does matter. And I go on to explain how assuming identical architectures, that is still a useful way that you can differentiate between one chip and another one. And the comment section is full of people being like, yeah, he even admits it. Gigahertz does matter. I'm going to continue to shop with gigahertz. And anyway, as part of working on this video, we ended up sort of accidentally proving once again that gigahertz is not a particularly meaningful measure of a CPU's performance. It is only an indicator that we can look at alongside many other indicators. That is the only way that it is useful.
That's cool. That sounds like a good video.
Mike says, LTT profit hat, like the new era sports ones I want. Also, for cybersecurity show, idea from last week, Linus Sec Tips. Sec Tips. Okay.
Sec security.
Yeah, we're just getting some merch messages incoming. I unfortunately do not have I do not have any products to launch this week. We have, actually, I'm going to let you guess. How many containers of products do you think we have sitting in the port waiting to be unloaded?
3.
Higher.
Really? Whole containers.
Whole containers, boys.
5.
5
5
containers.
Oh my
5 containers.
Goodness. That's so much. Oh.
I am so frustrated. There are many products that we are supposed to be launching or restocking that we are not launching and not restocking. I'm going to check my email from Nick that has my weekly sadness report because the stuff never comes. So here's everything that is just sitting in a container. WAN pants.
Nice.
Blank pants. So we're going to start doing some like printed design pants.
Okay.
Blank t-shirts. Extreme edition pillows. AMD edition pillows, including Threadripper pillows,
Cool.
our Swacket restock, our WAN hoodie restock, and our cable ties. All of that is supposed to be coming like imminently. So, January is going to be a busy month. It's going to be a busy month. It's going to be good stuff. Look, guys, I know. Oh, shoot. I was supposed to talk to Kyle about the screwdriver. Okay, Luke can handle this next topic on his own. I was reminded by True Serang. I'm supposed to look at the ratchet. Maybe I'll bring it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, if Kyle's still here, I'll bring it down. We'll talk about it.
Can I talk about the TikTok thing?
Yeah, sure.
TikTok on top surpasses Google as most visited website. Cloudflare has declared them the new winner. In February 17th, 2021, they held the top spot, but for only a day. They continued to gain more days on top of that in March and May as well. By August 10th of 2021, it was leading on most days. Part of the rising success of this could be attributed to Biden lifting the ban on TikTok that Trump previously had in place. The ban was lifted in June. More than 1 billion users sign in to TikTok monthly, primarily teens and children. The top 10 visited websites in 2021, according to Cloudflare, are TikTok, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, YouTube, Twitter, and WhatsApp. There's genuinely some surprising ones to me on there. I'm kind of surprised how low YouTube is. Microsoft being so high is very weird to me. Top 10 visited website, Microsoft. Odd. I know like MSN.com would be the default for Edge browser, but like genuinely not that many people run that anymore. It's very interesting. Discussion question is, will the older generation eventually take over TikTok like it did with Facebook, or will it simply die like Vine? I don't think it's going to die like Vine. It might. I know a number of people, including myself. I avoided installing TikTok up until this news came out. And I was like, man, if it's more popular than Google, I don't want to be too much of a boomer, so I should probably just install it. So I installed it, and then I opened it once, and I closed it, and I haven't opened it again.
TikTok?
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
I just don't really care.
I saw this TikTok. It was like how girls pick up clothes, and she was all like, "Okay, here's how sexy girls do it," and she's like, "Da, da, da," and then she's like, "Here's how I do it," and she picks it up with her foot and goes like this. And it was like, it entertained me for about 9 seconds. That was good.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I haven't really looked at it since then, though.
I was just saying, I know both myself and a few other people have installed it since this news came out. Just deciding, like, you know what, if it's passing Google, I don't want to be that much of a boomer. I do really question how this data is tracked and stuff. I haven't read into it super deeply.
I mean, it's Cloudflare, so you'd think they've done like a fair bit of due diligence.
Probably a pretty good job. But like, are they really capturing all the times? Like, are they counting if I search on my phone by not opening a website, but just typing in the search and search that way, or search with voice or something like that? Is that counting?
I don't know.
Probably not.
You know who's great though on TikTok? So I had no idea that she was a TikToker at all because I don't know TikTok, but she's local. Her name's Kallmekris. Well, her name's Chris, but her handle is Kallmekris. And so as part of like, I think I should vet people that we collab with from now on. So I was like, hey, what's she like? She's hilarious. Cool. She's like local. We're going to do a video with her probably sometime January, February. Nice. She's had a lot of the same problems as me. That's what's delayed the collab because just construction and permit nightmare. She's like moving into a new place or something. So we want to set up her new place with like this ultimate gamer space.
Nice. So
she can get more into streaming and stuff like that.
Cool.
And so we like announced it 2 or 3 months ago and people were like, hey, are you guys ever going to do that collab with Kallmekris? Yes. So we've
been busy.
Yeah, we've only like had one call talking about it. And then some of the guys on my team have kind of worked on sort of laying out the space and what it's going to look like, but because it's not finished, we can't do it. So we're definitely still working with her. She's amazing. So there you go. That's one worthwhile thing to watch on TikTok, or you can do what I did and just go on her YouTube channel and just watch the compilations.
Yeah.
I don't get TikTok.
Are you surprised? Okay, are you surprised by this list? Because I kind of was. TikTok number 1.
Yeah.
Google number 2. Facebook number 3. Yeah, Microsoft.
Sorry, wait, what? Does that include like Microsoft Live services, like Xbox, or like Microsoft? I mean, is Hotmail still a thing?
Yes.
I mean,
well, it's
I
Outlook.
know.
Yeah.
Outlook.
Yeah. Apple is next, then Amazon, then Netflix, then YouTube.
Why do people? Okay, so here's something that confuses me a little bit. Why do people need to go to Apple's website?
Yeah, I don't know. This is what I don't know what all this
like.
is.
Does this include like Siri queries?
That,
you know what I mean? Like
I don't know. I haven't dove into this enough.
iCloud uploads.
I feel like I'm seriously missing some intense information because like Apple existing there at all is weird. Is the App Store? Does that count?
Lego Panda 4 and Twitch. Telemetry. That's half the Microsoft traffic.
And Apple.
Oh no.
Man. Yeah, Amazon, then Netflix. I'm genuinely surprised that Netflix gets more visits than YouTube. Seems kind of weird to me.
Yeah, is this in gigabytes or is this in
what
query
is this?
count? Because App Store, Jaden says, App Store could be huge. But like is that a visit, or is that like to me, visiting Facebook, like the kind of interaction you're going to do on Facebook should not count the same as visiting the App Store and like downloading an app. That's not, in my mind anyway, that's not the same kind of interaction with a service or with a website.
So I just brought up Cloudflare's page on this. In 2021, the internet went for TikTok, Space, and beyond. I scrolled down, kept going, blah, 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 blah. Top 10 most popular domains, which is a little bit more specific.
Okay.
And then it's Microsoft.com specifically.
Mills Jonah on Floatplane says it's DNS queries.
Yeah, because it's the second they said domains, I was like, oh.
So basically, it's really not that meaningful then.
No.
All right.
It's not.
Well, why don't we move on and do a couple of the curated merch messages here. John S. asks, when will the next Scrapyard Wars happen? Honestly, I think Scrapyard Wars is retired. I think it's old Yellard. I think it has not only stayed its full welcome. I think it overstayed its welcome. I think the last series
overstayed by 1 season. Yeah,
maybe even 2. I think the last couple were honestly not up to the standard. And there's so many problems with continuing to do it. I mean, problem number 1 is that we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for ideas to continue to put a new spin on it. Problem number 2 is that the used market
is just ruined.
It's destroyed.
When we started Scrapyard Wars, the used market was vibrant.
You could get such amazing deals, man. Such amazing deals.
Someone literally pointed out that the graphics card that I bought in the first Scrapyard Wars, it was something like 8 years later was the same price.
Wow.
Like just what the heck?
That actually makes sense. What card was that? It was a 290.
Yeah.
How much is a holy crap. I'm doing it. How much is an R9 290 on eBay? I'm afraid. Holy crap. Hold on. We got to check if they've actually sold. We got to check if they actually sold, Luke, because the first Scrapyard Wars, we had a $300 Canadian
Imagine being able to
budget.
Buy a legit gaming computer for
we
$300.
Built an entire gaming machine, each of us, for $300. And you had a better GPU, right? You had the R9 290 and I had something lesser, but I had like a better CPU.
What we ended up figuring out was if we mashed our 2 computers together and actually spent, I think it was like $330 or something, it was like a really legit computer. But your GPU was a little pinner. System overall was better.
Yeah.
And my GPU was jacked, but my platform was worse.
It was terrible. Right. I remember you saying like mine was like you wouldn't even consider daily driving yours, whereas mine was like probably actually reliable.
A solid computer.
But yours just like absolutely creamed mine in terms of performance. Holy crap. This is a parts card for $93. For parts, Luke.
Oh, that's horrible.
Parts only $90. $90. As is $80.
Man, the first episode of Scrapyard Wars has over 6 million views. That's pretty solid.
That's insane. That is freaking insane. The first episode of Scrapyard Wars was in what year was it? 2015?
No.
What year
yes,
was it?
Yes, it was 2015.
2015.
What? There was that late?
Yeah.
We did it from the house.
Yeah.
We were in the house in 2015?
You know, it's almost 2022, right? Just saying.
Ooh, I thought we were out of the house before 2015.
So that's problem number 2 with Scrapyard Wars. That we basically can't get a better deal today than we could get 7 years ago.
And then like back then when we could say like $300 budget and it was actually interesting, that was cool. But now the market's so messed up that like, what would you even say? What budget would you give?
I don't even know. Because everyone is so like attuned to the value of used hardware now that there's no such thing as getting a deal.
No.
Right?
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's not cool. You're not going to find a cool deal. Like it's just you're just going to pay some scalper. That's almost certainly what's going to happen.
And then problem number 3 is that both Luke and I are so recognizable anywhere where computer hardware is involved that going incognito is basically impossible. I remember during the one with Jay and who else participated in that one? Dimitri, that's right. The one with Jay and Dimitri. I was walking down the street in like a hat and sunglasses and wearing uncharacteristic clothing. I was wearing shorts. Like I was trying to kind of go incognito. And someone just barely even looking, just out of the corner of their eye, like, hey, sup, Linus? And I'm sitting here going, why do I even bother? What is even the point of anything? Because I can't maintain a low profile anymore. And this isn't just like, oh, humble brag, Linus, oh, too famous. Because it's not even like that. If I go to a Home Depot, the odds of anyone knowing who I am is pretty low. Whereas if I show up at, a Best Buy, the odds of someone knowing who I am is pretty high. It's just a matter of like being well known within this like hyper focused vertical, and then literally no one else on the face of the earth giving any hoots whatsoever. But it does mean that while I could probably do storage wars or makeup haul competition without it being a problem, because one of the rules of Scrapyard Wars, and I think it's a fundamental rule, I think it's an important rule, one of the rules of Scrapyard Wars is you can't use your influence to get a deal.
Yeah.
It's become basically impossible for me to not do it, because even if I don't ask people, even people who know Scrapyard Wars, they'll be like, hey, no, you're not allowed to do this, but I could totally cut you an awesome deal. I totally want you to win. I'm like, no, stop. Now I can't take it.
Yeah.
And I know they mean well, and I appreciate you, fam, but oh man, I'm dying here.
I'm really trying to find the price that I got that 290 for, but I can't find it.
It's got to be in there somewhere.
Someone in the comments said, this show is amazing. I can't believe, this is from 6 years ago, I can't believe Luke got an R9 290 for under $78 USD. But that doesn't sound right.
That's got to be right. $300 budget, Luke. We only had to do the tower that time. We didn't have to do peripherals.
Yeah.
But like case, power supply, CPU, memory,
Yeah. I don't know.
They were dirt cheap.
It was crazy, though. It was crazy.
Those cards were dirt cheap. Nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people are desperate for anything they can game on. Intel has to be the savior. I don't see any other way out.
I was literally having this conversation with someone, I think it was my brother, a couple days ago, where I went like, hopefully Intel comes in and then they just, they get more GPUs per wafer and everything's okay.
That's what we need, because we need volume.
Yes.
We don't need more like RTX 3090s.
No.
What we need is a whole bunch of like 3050 class cards.
3050, 3060.
We need an absolute flood of them so people have something to game on. And
I was talking to you about this. I think it got to be 3 days ago or something. We were playing Halo, and I was talking about how I'm like happy and also really frustrated that Halo it looks really good, but it's really hard to run on your system. And like I feel like I was asking for that for years and we weren't getting it. And now there's this insane hardware shortage and no one can build computers and we get Halo and it's really hard to run. And I'm like,
It came up because my son joined us for a Halo gaming session and it was running kind of crap on my wife's machine. I was sitting there going, well, this thing has like an RTX 2080 in it. Unfortunately, it's also running an ultra wide that's 3840 by 1600. Yeah, I figured out that problem after because we'd already been waiting around for game patches and everyone getting into Discord and blah, blah. So I just wanted to get going. So I just kind of cranked down the details. I was like, I'll look at this later. But I didn't realize her panel was so high resolution. She's only running an RTX 2080. I know. Whoa. Okay, hold on, everyone. I know. Only RTX 2080 in a pretty privileged position here. But that game is flipping demanding.
Yeah, and when you try to run it on that resolution, it's going to be real tough.
Yeah.
I know people with like 3090s that struggle because they have like ultra wides or whatever, and Halo just like
I don't know. I'm running
Halo
4K.
will just take everything.
I'm running 4K on my 3090, and it's like fine.
I don't know.
I mean, it depends on what kind of FPS you're going for. Like if you're trying to hit. I'm trying to think. Like if you, mine's 120 hertz, 4K. That's about as bad as it gets.
What frames are you getting though?
I actually don't know. It's smooth though. It's really smooth. I don't have frame view up. We've got a couple other merch messages here. Oh, where'd the curated ones go? Whoopsie daisies. Matt M, longtime listener, first time caller, finishing up his and hers gaming setups. Any plan on doing a reviewing your setups video soon? I like your funny words, Magic Man. You know what's really funny is I've been extremely resistant to doing those videos. Jake has basically grabbed my arm, wrenched it behind my back both times to convince me to do that. It feels like cheap, unnecessary filler content, but people love it.
People love it, yeah.
I know.
You gotta get over that a little bit.
I know. I always...
I deeply respect the dedication to like trying to keep highbrow stuff every time. But
it doesn't have to be highbrow, but I like to do something new.
Sure.
I don't like to retread old territory, but it gets hard when you've done like 4,000 videos
or more.
I think it's more than that. Yeah.
I really think you guys should do and I know it's not different and your argument is very sound and I just don't care. You guys should do a snow-cooled computer. You guys should go out to the giant mountain of snow. You should sit someone on top of it for the intro. Be like, we're breaking records in Canada. We're gonna shove some radiators in the snow. You should just do it. It'd be sweet.
You know, I've already done it, right?
In a video?
On NCIX Tech Tips. I mean, I'm basically a walking, breathing Simpsons did it. Yeah. You name it.
Just do it again.
You name it. I've pretty much
do it better.
Done it. I mean, even when we try to like do it better. Okay, so here's a classic example of do the same thing but do it better. Okay, check this out. Triple projector Linus something. Okay, so 10 years ago, I did this on Linus Tech Tips. We had GTX 590.
Oh, this was actually sick.
Triple 3D vision projectors.
Yeah,
we actually did a whole event. People could come in and they could try the setup. Yeah. And what was crazy about it was only about 2 megapixels because they were 720p. But because you would sit so far back from it, it was actually, and because it was more about the 3D depth, it didn't look that bad. It was pretty cool. So it was like a super ultra surround wide vision, 3D vision stereoscopic gaming setup. So I go and I try to kind of recreate that magic. 12K, we do it bigger and better than ever. This is like many times the resolution. We put it on the side of a building. Okay, we're gaming on the side of a building, Luke. No one cared about that. It's like.
Is it a title problem?
It could be. It's also a format problem. We ended up, so we talk about the original one here a little bit. We also we dork around for too much talking about quadros and stitching together the image. This is something that this is a mistake we wouldn't make today. We would jump right into
you gotta put the juice at the beginning.
Yeah, it's got to go right there. Yeah. But I always had this kind of, I've always had this kind of storytelling snobbery about me where I like to assume I have a captive audience. I like to assume that the viewer that starts the video is going to finish the video. and that I can kind of tease them along the way and be like, and we're going to get to that later, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to save the best parts for last kind of thing. And what I've realized, talking to super smart people like Jimmy, Mr. Beast, some of the other folks in this Discord that I'm in, is you just gotta leave check that attitude at the door. You can't do it. That's just not the way that modern content works. You got to get right into it. So our current video Bible stipulates that unless you are addressing the title and thumbnail within the first 10 to 20 seconds of the video, you do not have a video. And you need to go back and you need to retool your intro so that you are addressing the title and thumbnail within 10 seconds.
It's so interesting to me because I feel like I must watch YouTube so differently to such a monstrous part of the audience, because I almost never watch YouTube as my main activity.
Yeah.
If I'm watching YouTube, I'm probably doing something else, and it's probably half background noise, half video that I'm actually watching.
Right.
So the amount of times I would click off in 10 seconds into a video because I'm not interested is not common, because I'm probably doing something else. But I don't know.
Got it. I got a couple more merch messages here. Mason asks, what does LTT have in store for 2022? I'm a longtime viewer, excited to see what you guys have in store. LTX 2022. We want to do LTX 2022. Honestly, Omicron is making it look less likely than we thought it was even a month ago. We were basically gearing up. I mean, I've seen Chase working on floor plans. Like, we have a title sponsor. Like, we want to do it, but if we can't do it safely, I mean, look at what happened to CES. Literally days from CES, you've got Intel pulling out. You've got major car brands pulling out. Everyone's pulling out. How do you plan anything with the world in the state that it's in? And it's not even just like, I mean, maybe you subscribe to the theory that it's basically a cold and you're not worried about catching it. Sure, fine, but then you've got all the regulations to deal with. Like, you can't go attend a show or an event and then have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And there's places that are down to just 5 days now if you're fully vaxxed. But there's also parts of the world where you are still having to quarantine for multiple weeks, and sometimes at your cost. Actually, I think it's often at your cost. So I don't know what to tell you guys. As for what we have in store, I think the biggest change that you're going to see in 2022 is that, man, do we ever have some primo applications for the lab. Like, when I came out, threw down the gauntlet and was like, think I can't afford you, try me. We got some people trying me.
Some people tried
We got some literal freaking like chip scientists and freaking like rocket scientists and stuff applying. And to be clear, I'm super into it. We've got some like old school, traditional written tech media guys that made their way over to the manufacturing side and want out, because I know they do. I bet most of them do. But it's just, there was no money in written. And if you didn't figure out how to transition to video, it was really challenging. I think probably one of the smartest guys in the industry is Steve from Gamers Nexus, because there is no one else. There is nobody else who manages to do both written and video content the way that he does.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
We have not managed to make any inroads into written, though that is something that we will be targeting. And no one from the written side managed to really hit it big in video. No one. So yeah, Matt, just like massive respect for what he's done. So the lab is really going to drive a ton of the content in 2022 if all goes according to plan. It's going to take a long time to set up, but we are definitely making progress on that already. Zachary in a merch message asks, have you considered doing a video where you guys see what happens when you order PCs and other tech as LMG versus as a random person? You talked in the past about what you guys think companies would do if they got an order from Linus. That's actually not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm kind of afraid to tip my hand here, but I'm gonna.
Don't say it. I think I get it. Don't say it. That's cool.
Oh, I think it's not what you're thinking.
Okay.
Because I haven't really hinted at it yet.
Okay.
But I'm planning a video. You can expect this in 2022 as well. I'm planning a video where we are going to secret shop our sponsors. And if they fail this like rubric that we're going to create,
cut them off.
we are going to yeet them in public. So some of the metrics are going to be things that we've dropped sponsors for in the past, things like it being difficult to cancel the service or like whatever else. Like we're basically going to create this sponsor standard sheet, and if they don't manage to meet it, then we're just going to be like, okay. And so this might be a multi video series because we have so many sponsors now, again, with the humble brags, but we have so many sponsors, we couldn't like feasibly test all of them in a single video. So I think we're going to do probably like 3 to 5 per video. We're going to secret shop them. We're going to use the services, maybe get a review of Manscaped's products, included in it. But it's basically going to be like, okay, look, this is it. This is trial by fire. You either hold up to our standards for what the customer experience should be, or you're gone.
The kind of cool part, what was that series we had back in the day?
Cake farted.
No,
No, I know.
no, it was the manufacturer based one. Where we would like challenge their claim.
Oh, shit manufacturers say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a cool series because if it turned out that we were wrong, that's a huge advertisement for them.
Yeah, for sure.
And like in this situation, if they do a good job, that's really good for them. You're basically making a video advertising for them without them paying you.
Exactly.
Which is huge for them. But then if they screw up,
they're on blast.
It's horrible. Yeah, that's great. I love that kind of stuff.
100%. So that's something I'm really excited. I'm really excited for, especially because we've had some sponsors that we've worked with that we've seen some bad reports, but then we've also seen a lot of good reports. So it's just gonna come down to what our experience is, and I think that it could be one of those things where we don't have to drop them forever, but we could drop them for some period of time as long as they commit to cleaning up their act. And then as long as they pass a second test, then we're good. And we've gotten reasonably good at managing to hide our true identity when engaging with sponsors as part of Secret Shopper. Nobody knew that they were dealing with us for Secret Shopper. Nobody. So I think that we could pull it off. We should probably speaking of sponsors, we should probably talk about our sponsors for the show. The show is brought to you by Squarespace. Man, I think they're our longest running active sponsor now. No, probably Intel. Squarespace. If you need a website and you don't have the know-how, Squarespace makes it flippin' easy. They've got a wide selection of award-winning templates. They're all optimized for mobile, so they'll look great on any device. You can create members-only content for extra revenue using Squarespace's member areas. And you can grow and engage your audience with their powerful and easy-to-use email campaign system. If you ever need additional help, Squarespace offers webinars, a full series of help guides, or you can contact their 24/7 customer support via live chat and email. So get started and head to squarespace.com/LTT to get 10% off your first purchase. The show is also brought to you by BuildRedux. BuildRedux creates PCs for gamers. No way. That's right, PCs for gamers who want to win and want high frame rates without breaking the bank. Through BuildRedux's website, you can easily configure your PC and see how well optimized it is for gaming performance. They want to create the best gaming PC for any budget without cutting corners on quality, and it's backed by a 2-year parts and labor warranty, so you're covered there. So start your build today at buildredux.com/Linus or at the link down below. It's also brought to you by Ridge Wallet. Thank you, Ridge Wallet, for sponsoring today's WAN show. You can stop carrying around pointless items like receipts, old hotel room keys, and spent gift cards with Ridge Wallet. That's right, the feature is that it carries less. It uses 2 metal plates that are bound by a strong elastic band to keep your card tightly together, but still accessible. Cards, it does hold more than one card. And it's RFID blocking with a lifetime guarantee. They're available in aluminum, carbon fiber, and titanium, and they don't just sell wallets, they've got lots of other stuff. Bags, battery banks, smartphone covers, and more. And you can use offer code WAN to save 10% on everything at ridge.com/WAN. All right, do we have any other topics that we wanted to hit today?
Someone reminded me, what's the joke?
The joke, yes. Okay. How do you get holy water? And I read this. I can't take credit for it.
Okay, I don't know.
Beat the hell out of it.
What? Why? What?
Because there's no hell in it anymore.
Oh.
His disappointment is palpable.
Oh, that one's rough. That one's pretty rough. Oh, jeez. Okay.
All right. You want to save some money on DDR5? Well, just just get the DDR4.
Just beat the hell out of it.
rip cooler memory slot clearance here. Just get what is this video?
Wait, what?
Okay, sorry, enough of this. Hold on, let's find a picture. Look at this thing. Look at this thing.
Oh my.
It's the DDR5 to DDR4 memory converter. You got your power delivery here, okay? Because it's supposed to be built into the module. What?
That's amazing.
Oh,
Holy.
no. Oh, I love it.
How much does that cost?
I don't know. I'm not even sure
Talk
if
about
this...
save money. You got to build these custom modules for each one of these things.
I'm not sure if this is going to be a real product. This is one of those things that makes no sense because it costs more.
Yeah.
The solution costs more than the problem. Like if you just flipped your DDR4 memory on, well, okay, DDR5 is sort of being scalped right now, but under normal circumstances, if you just flipped your DDR4 on eBay and turned around and bought some DDR5, you're probably going to be out less than what you would spend on this over-engineered monstrosity.
Which just looks like it's going to break.
But I think it's you gotta admire Asus's ingenuity.
Oh yeah, the
You
fact
know-
that they got it to work is super cool.
Yeah, why worry about whether you should when you can just focus on whether you can?
If you guys could get 4 of them for a video, like seeing if there's any performance impacts and stuff could be like interesting.
Oh, it's a very interesting video that no one will actually find. We're not gonna. Let me put it this way: we're not gonna do a lot of affiliate revenue based on the links under that video, unless we just link not the product. We just link something sensible you should actually buy. We've done that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to test it, but I just.
How many of these even exist? That's one of my questions.
Probably one. I would say one engineering
There is
board.
only one in the video, eh? Yeah, it's interesting. I
yeah.
noticed, like, when you see it in the board, there is only one.
There's just one.
It's cool, though. Yeah, whatever.
Um,
Just don't go that path.
they had to create a special BIOS that allows the
that's-
ROG Apex to run in DDR4 mode. Then the carrier card addresses the differences in architecture.
That's epic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is really, really brutal. Okay, what else we got here? Ooh, this is fun. We got the one, the only Mr. Shrout over on Twitter.
Yeah.
Perks of the job was going to save this demo for CES. LOL! See you later, CES. Why not share it with
Rip.
everyone right now? 12th gen Core i9 12900K with a Samsung PM1743 PCIe Gen 5 SSD. Over 13 gigabytes a second, ladies and gentlemen. What? Like what? Hold on, that's
Man.
7 gigabytes a second. That can't be right. Where's the... Oh, shoot.
Boom.
That's crazy. I mean, not that for consumer workloads this matters at all, but
Check the second tweet. Check
like,
the second tweet.
it's pretty cool though. Hey, Shrout.
It always happens that
Hey,
way.
Shrout, you want to lend us one? By any
Or
chance?
2?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Why don't we show both of the Gen 5 drives running at the same time?
That's why I said or 2, man.
What? Wow, that's scaling though.
Yeah.
What the heck? That's crazy.
Yep.
This is on a consumer CPU. This shouldn't be possible. This is like a third. That's a third of what we were able to do on the stupid Badger Den. That's insane.
I love how the bench has a 3080 in it as well. Definitely required.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're Ryan Trout, you would just have good stuff in your bench, wouldn't you?
That's probably true.
I mean, guy's an actual gamer, so like,
He's a pretty
you know.
cool dude.
Holy shnikes. All right. Well, cool. Yeah, I definitely want one. Wait, what is this? Okay. This has got to be a meme format that I'm not familiar
is.
with. One of our
Yeah.
new writers.
It is. I don't remember what it is. It's like I'm at the Taco Bell, I'm at the Pizza Hut, I'm at the combination Taco Bell and Pizza Hut or something
Okay,
like
well,
that.
this is I'm at the gaming mouse, I'm at the SSD, I'm at the combination gaming mouse and SSD.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's a gaming mouse with a 1 terabyte SSD inside of it, which, runs over USB-C because that's cool. I actually,
This is actually the smartest thing ever.
yeah, I think this is cool. That's the direction I was going in. Was I think it's cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
awesome.
actually genius.
It's sweet.
Because if you're on your gaming library in the palm of your hand,
Yeah, it's sweet.
if you don't mind running a wired mouse, then basically your laptop. So I ran into this recently. So my daily driver is my framework, but what I used for travel more recently, I mean, I guess I'm not traveling anywhere, but what I like to use for travel is the Asus ROG Flow X13 because it's way more gaming capable. It's got like a 1650 or whatever it is integrated.
How much do you game on the road?
And I probably put like 30 hours into Anno on the trip to Tel Aviv.
Oh, right.
Like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I played a freaking
Anno.
ton of Anno.
Yeah.
So
okay.
anyway, I switched over to the ROG Flow X13 because it's gaming capable without even the external GPU. And I have the external GPU. So I got like freaking RTX 3080 on my external dock. I got my Ryzen 5900 HX or whatever it is, my 8-core and the thing. Like I've got desktop grade gaming performance on the go.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's cool.
It's awesome. But what sucks is the Flow X13 only accepts a 40 millimeter or 30 millimeter, whatever the shortest one is, SSD. So while I would love to put a decent sized game library in the thing on like, one of those 8 terabyte Sabrent drives or something like that, I actually can't install it. And I tried. I tried to get like a ribbon and like kind of jam it somewhere else or something. I mean, they packed that thing so tight. So this would completely solve my problem. I just put like a big fat game library in it. You plug in your mouse and you're ready to go. This is the actually not stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, I think it's sweet.
Good job, ADATA.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool. Especially like if you like, yeah, I don't know. I just like it. If you go to like a buddy's house or a LAN, or if you game at school,
100%.
Why not?
Yeah. If someone needs a file off your thing, like sure, whatever. You just plug in your mouse,
Yeah.
and then you like got your mouse, and you're like, hey, okay, copy it over here. Okay, yeah, see you later.
Yeah.
It's a mouse USB drive.
I think it's sweet.
I love it.
That's a combination that I can get behind.
Yeah, dog. All right. In other news, goodbye note. Hello, Galaxy S22 Ultra. Looks like there's been some pretty big leaks, and it's got a pen, so we won't need notes anymore.
Nice.
It's got some big camera bumpage. All right. Cool.
I have a question for you. And this is actually the discussion question as well, but I had the same thought. So whoever wrote the discussion question, we are of one mind. But in today's day and age, would you just rather a fold?
Okay.
Is the price gap the thing here?
The price gap's a big thing.
I'm assuming it's
The
significantly
Fold
cheaper.
has problems that this won't. So I have a 4,000 milliamp hour battery in here. The S22 Ultra is supposed to have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery that is powering a smaller screen. It is going to have notably better battery life. Also, in terms of performance, I would expect to get better out of the S22 Ultra. That upcoming Exynos with RDNA 2 graphics is looking
Okay, but
pretty
say
interesting.
there's a new Fold, though, because it's been out for a bit.
Sure, yeah, so full Z Fold 4 or whatever.
Sure.
I do miss my pen. I miss my pen sometimes. I was trying to, what was I trying to do recently? I was taking pictures. I took pictures of a room at the new place. And what I wanted to do, what I used to do on my note is I would take a picture of the room and then I would grab the pen and I would draw all the dimensions on it.
Yeah, sure.
And it's one of those little things that like once a freaking year, I might do something like that. Doesn't come up that often. But boy, when I want to do that, is it ever nice to have the pen. And so yeah, I miss the notes sometimes. And I talked about this in my video on the Oppo Find N. I probably 80+% of my time I'm using the front display on this thing. So I was using my old Note 9, which I still have kicking around, to put on some music for the girls to listen to while they were trying to fall asleep. They have their little Bluetooth speakers they put in their bed and they'll listen to music or whatever. And I was holding it and I was like, oh, it feels like having an old familiar friend in your hand, It's like, hi friend, how you doing?
Just chilling in my hand.
Just chilling in my hand like
Yeah.
this. Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to feel you, So I don't know. I might go back to a candy bar, but for now, I'm folding. I'm a folding boy.
Would you get a giant phone?
How big is this thing? 6.8 inches. I don't know.
Because honestly, even this thing, I miss like remember when Sony would do those like pretty small phones?
The Xperia Compact, yeah.
Yeah.
They still have some really nice stuff that's actually quite handleable.
But it's a Sony phone.
I know. The camera's pretty decent.
Okay.
They still don't let you switch your multitasking and back button though. Honestly, that's one of the biggest deal breakers for me. It's so arbitrary. Just allow me to do it. It's like Apple level arbitrary. It's like, oh, you want to rearrange your icons where you want to? Well, no. Well, then no. And I just won't buy it. That was easy.
I hate that I can't individually control like notification volumes. Like and this has bugged me for a long time. Is in terms of sound and vibration, I have media volume, call volume, ring and notification volume. Wire those together, stop, and then alarm volume.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. For me, a notification is not urgent.
No.
And a phone call is urgent because everyone who has my phone number knows that if it's urgent, you call. And if it's not urgent, you do not call.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably on set.
Like people don't...
Except my uncle. He can't wrap his head around that. He just calls me whenever.
I think a lot of people operate that way too.
Yeah.
So like it's I don't really get that many phone calls, but I don't want to miss a phone call.
Yes.
But then there's so many situations where like...
You miss phone calls.
I don't want... I don't want notifications to be just constantly going off. So I'm going to turn it down. And then like I'll turn it down for WAN show and then forget for like a couple days that I like muted it. And then I'll miss a call that was actually pretty important.
A call, you say?
I'll miss a few calls. A lot of calls. And then it's just like...
You need a landline.
Yeah, I do.
That's actually the answer.
I've been thinking about
either that or I need the GF's number so that I can reach you.
You don't have it? I'm actually surprised.
I don't. I've been meaning to ask you for it forever. Every time I can't reach you, I'm like... Bloody hell, I need to get Planty Time's number.
Yeah, that would probably be...
And then I get in touch with you, and usually I'm trying to get in touch with you because it's either something fun or something urgent.
Yeah.
So I get distracted by the fun or urgent thing, and then I completely forget to get her number. I'm like, stop. Until the next time, like, I have absolutely no way to reach this man. Oh my God. LTTStore product. A smart, just like light. That just flashes.
I would be so into that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And so you just... If
you could customize it so that there was different, like... It would have to be hierarchical, right?
Yeah.
So like if you get like a notification for something that you're not very worried about, but you have no other notifications, okay, it shows a certain light.
Yeah.
But then if you get like a medium one, then it would show that light. Like it doesn't worry about the low importance one anymore. Yeah, I'd be super into that.
Yeah, because nobody has landlines anymore. So just something that like flashes when your phone is ringing or something like that would be amazing. People are like, it's basically a pager. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But an internet connected pager. Like it's... Because I wouldn't want to actually have a separate SIM for it. Like I wouldn't want it to have a phone service. I would just want there to be a companion app that basically just monitors for incoming notifications and then pushes to this thing so that I can, and if you just throw Bluetooth on it so that it also acts as a Bluetooth speaker, like that was a thing for a bit where people would get like Bluetooth, like the old cordless phone handsets so that their cell phone would just sit somewhere. And then when they get a call at home, they would just kind of have a normal phone. That would be awesome.
Because like I don't like using my phone usually. To be completely honest, I don't like doing a lot of stuff on my phone. So I would rather do it on my desktop. But when my phone, notifications in modern day, and we've talked about this on WAN Show a lot, notifications just suck. They all just suck across the board. And even if I'm not using my phone, I'm pretty convinced a lot of the times the reason why I don't get certain notifications is because they're being picked up by my phone. Mm-hmm. So my desktop isn't necessarily flashing or vice versa. And just having one universal thing that just goes no matter what would be great.
I've got a lot of people saying like, hey, it's a smartwatch or it's an Echo or it's this or it's that. It's like, no. It's simple.
Yes.
It doesn't do all that other stuff. That's like kind of the point of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I kind of like it.
And like I'm just gonna plug it into a wall. Like I don't want to.
Exactly.
I don't want to worry about batteries. I don't want to worry about charging it. I just want it to work.
Yep. And it just tells me when I'm being summoned.
Yeah.
We should do a few more merch messages here.
Yes. We've talked about this before too. The like woof from The Office. Like I really want there to be a nuclear option for contacting me. That would be awesome. And if I could hand it to like my parents and you and my girlfriend and whatever, and like it's like 10 or less people that have it. Yeah. But like every single device I have is gonna freak out and like almost overpoweringly not allow me to do anything until I answer this thing. That would be a really cool option.
Yeah. I'd want one.
Yeah.
I would totally want one of those.
That'd be sweet. Anyways. Okay.
All right. Joshua says, Happy New Year's. How's Lucky doing? Lucky's doing good. Lucky's in the warehouse. Are we going to talk about color e-ink or is that too niche? Honestly, it's niche until a mainstream device gets it. Like that's what I'm really waiting for. Like when Amazon finally does a color Kindle or something like that, and you can like really enjoy manga or full color comic strips and stuff like that. That's when I think it's going to really take off. But right now, the quality is not great the last time I looked into it, and the cost is still high, and there's nothing really mainstream. So Christian says, when is Anthony getting his Linux channel? I don't know. I don't know if a Linux channel is a priority for 2022. It's a matter of time before we do something more Linux or FOSS focused, but I don't think 2022 is the year. Thomas B says, there should be a way to pay for a merch message without buying something. I don't need more LTT gear. Maybe a way to donate to charity and get the message so we get something. Well, okay, the point is that you just shouldn't send one if you don't need anything. Thomas picked up a banana for scale. Thanks anyways, Thomas. Okay. Paras says, is this how you do merch messages? Yes. Paras also said other stuff. If so, are you hiring engineers? I'd love to be part of making epic products made like the old school, good quality kind. I had a really great conversation with one of our guys just about like how cool it is to be given the time to research like magnets, like how much time he's had to spend on researching magnets. He's like, yeah, we're going to have for this upcoming product that I'm really excited about, we are going to have a pretty good price advantage because instead of just brute forcing the neodymium content, instead of just like adding more in order to get the attraction force we want, we've spent like weeks simulating and then doing real world measurements to validate our simulations and like finding the exact optimal like ratio of neodymium mass to pull strength at the exact pull distance we want. Like there's all this complexity to it. He's like, yeah, it's really cool to just like have time to do things properly.
That's cool. Yeah.
No, it's good. Yeah.
There's also like the amount of planned obsolescence that's built into a lot of companies.
I hate that.
It's stupid.
Paras, we always have our job listings up on linusmediagroup.com. A Squarespace site, by the way. Hey, thanks again, Squarespace, for sponsoring the show. Matthew S. says, any thoughts on Web 3.0? I'm going to confess, I have no idea what Web 3.0 is, and frankly, I don't care. Web 2.0 was a complete nothing burger, and Web 3.0 will probably be a nothing burger. It's branding, it's marketing. There is no clear transition between Web 1.0 and 2.0 and 3.0. It's all evolving over time. No, I disagree. I will not refer to it as Web 3.0.
Also needs to shed its reliance on non-Web 3.0 things. That's like a huge problem. But
yep.
Yeah.
Wayne M. Been buying from you since the NCIX days. Glad I can empty my piggy bank of Canabucks and help support one of our own. I do wish you had a Canadian site. Yeah, that's fair. We will do it at some point, but it's like it adds a lot of complexity in terms of accounting and stuff because all of our costs are in US dollars. So yeah.
Just doing everything in USD has been helpful.
Do you know what NCIX's solution was to that? Because the exchange rate fluctuates by so much sometimes, is we would just adjust our pricing like daily. Like we'd come in the morning and adjust all the pricing on the site. That's why the pricing was always oddball. That's why a motherboard would be like $97.23 because it was just converted from USD. Like,
oh my.
So if we're just going to convert from USD anyway, we might as well just show a consistent price on the site was my philosophy.
Yeah.
William, I am 36 years old. Am I too old to go to LTT?
LTX is, I think, what he
LTX. Means. Never been to a con before. Absolutely not. You're my age, man. Come on, William G. I'll see you there.
And yeah, my dad, not for the last few because, but my dad has been bringing myself and my brother and a bunch of my friends to PAX for many years now, and he's been having a lot of fun the whole time. So yeah, I don't think so. Not at all.
Joshua says, video idea, editing an Alder Lake build guide on an Alder Lake PC on an Alderwood boat in Alder Lake. Good thought. That's hey, that's why we have these conversations.
Yep.
Also, I ruined my PCIe cable, so could I use an EPS 8-pin connector for my 3070? Would it work? You could jam it in there, but I wouldn't recommend it. The pinout is actually different.
Yeah.
So EPS 8-pin is 4 12 volts and then 4 grounds, and PCIe 8-pin is actually 3 12 volts and 5 grounds. So no, you cannot do that. Please do not do that. You will probably brick your graphics card, and we all know those are pretty precious these days.
Yeah.
Adam says, Happy New Year to all of you and your loved ones. Also, Linus, fellow motorcyclist here, do you have plans for LTT riding gear? Seeing your quality standards, I would probably love it. Technical garments like that are so difficult.
It's a big undertaking.
Yeah, like honestly, I'd say a riding jacket would be a bigger project than the backpack, and the backpack's going to take like a year.
There's liability
and
involved
it's
in
so
that too,
niche.
isn't it?
I don't think so, because you can get like stuff certified and stuff, but that's a whole process. Like if we wanted to certify like our back armor and stuff like that, I think there's a whole thing. But then there's going to be different certification bodies in different regions. I mean, there's a reason that stuff costs so much, because it's really niche. It's super low volume and it's a ton of work.
Yeah.
So I would honestly prefer to just leave that to the specialists. Cameron, in the middle of a house remodel, would you recommend standard surrounds or in-ceiling speakers for the rear speakers? Well, if they're your rears, then I would not recommend putting them into the ceiling. I would recommend putting your overheads in the ceiling.
So I was actually interested in this too, not for myself, but for my dad actually. How difficult and he would probably know, but I haven't asked him. I'm hoping he's not watching right now. But how difficult would it be to add in-ceiling speakers to a house that isn't currently having exposed ceiling?
Depends. So like in my living room, for example, you know how there's that peak at the front of the house, where part of it is like the server room?
Which house?
The current one that I actually live at.
Yeah.
Okay, so my living room, the entire front 2/3 of it or so, and the entire thing along the right is actually has an attic crawl space above it. So when I put in my VR base stations, and I had Brian the electrician put an outlet in the crawl space, and then I just wired them all up to that outlet. When I did that, it was relatively little work. The only one that was a bit of a hassle is when you're facing the front bay window, the one at the back left. And that's because that one I had to get into the wall space by going through one of the I forget what it's called, but it's basically like the whatever. It's like above a wall. Please help me. So it's the piece of wood that's above at the top of a wall when you frame it. Yeah. So I had to go down into that to get into the wall space, and then I had to like kind of fish it over or something. Like that one was a bit tricky. But if it's something that everything is completely closed up, it can be anywhere from really easy, like say it was an interior wall and they cheaped out on the house and there's no insulation in there. You might be able to fish something up the wall, poke a small hole, fish it over, patch a little hole, and get it. Or if it's full of insulation and the ceiling joists are running this way, it might be completely impossible. The good news is those like Legrand things with the adhesive strip and the little thing, they look not that bad. But I mean, since in the new place we had all the walls open anyway, we obviously went that route. Easy. Yeah. But if I was retrofitting a house, honestly, I would just run those things along a baseboard, and then just cable manage them really nicely up, and I call it a day.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice, Yogi Bavax. Don't worry, it's coming. Fred W says, bring back 12 a.m. green in the new bottle design. We do want to do more colors. We've got lots of new colors coming. Stay tuned. Burn to Otis. New year, new gear. You guys going to do a fractal torrent water cooling build? Case is sick AF like the new Lian Li Evo. I hadn't planned to, but it sounds kind of good, actually. Matthew, I'm a big boy that wears a 4XL normally. I have 10 plus LTT shirts, and it all hugs me tight. I badly want a swacket that fits. Is there any way you guys could source shirts for us big boys? It's coming, okay? So we've got our custom blank shirts sitting in the dock. When we get them, when we deploy them, confirm that they're not going to fall apart in the field. We're pretty confident, don't worry. But once we confirm for realsies, we are going to start working on our lanky boy fits. We're going to start working on our chunky boy fits. We're going to start working on like fitted tees for women and all that kind of stuff. Give us a little bit more time. I'm once again asking for your patience here. Ralph Z, would it be possible to add a belt/waist strap to the backpack at this point? It would be possible, but we're not going to do it because it's not a hiking bag. It's an everyday carry bag.
I personally wouldn't want them on that backpack.
Yep.
But I love them on my hiking bag.
Ryan P. Hi, Linus and Luke. I sold my Pixel 6 Pro because it charged so slow, but I loved the software. Should I get a 5A or wait for the Samsung S22? I mean, it's hard for me to recommend a Pixel these days. There's people that have them and absolutely love them, but we have a handful of people at the office that just have nothing but problems with them.
I have an insane amount of problems with my phone.
Yeah, so it's tough. I don't know what to tell you.
The problem with my phone is the phone. That is by far the biggest problem.
Okay.
And like, I know that might be...
The problem with my computer is my computer. It's a bad computer. So
it's just like the actual, like, someone will call me and my phone
I love my car. It's just that the problem with it is the car.
Yeah. Someone will call me and my phone will just like lock up. Like I have a very hard time actually getting to the call itself if I have to like input numbers. Yeah. Because I'm going through a system or whatever. I have tons of issues with that. I've like, I don't know. It's rough.
Speaking of phone issues, you know who sucks now? OnePlus. Man, both my wife and son are on OnePlus devices. They absolutely hate them. My son's has been plagued by this well-documented issue where data just doesn't work on TELUS. You cannot override the, what's it called again? APN. You can't override the APN information. Trust me, guys. What? Trust me. I know how easy it is supposed to be. Just trust me. The particular device he's on, though, you cannot manually enter the APN information unless you get this other app that's like Shortcut Creator Pro. Okay. And then you use that to force it to allow you into the editing screen because otherwise the UI will not let you access it. And then you have to enter it in like a weird way that's not normal. And TELUS is aware of it. OnePlus has been aware of it for months, and they haven't fixed it. And so there's just people whose data is completely bricked.
That's one of the frustrating things about my phone too. It's been validating but frustrating. It's a huge one of the problems that I look up that I have with it. Yeah. I have lots of problems with it. I find massive threads of other people having the same problem. I'm just like, well, okay. And it doesn't seem to be everyone.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people.
And then Yvonne just has the stupidest issues with her phone. Like it takes like a solid 3 or 4 seconds for her caller ID to work. So she'll just like, who's calling? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, you look at it and you go, okay, how large is the database for this? How long does this lookup take? Are you on a mechanical hard drive in there? I just don't get it. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know what to recommend to you. I've been overall mostly happy with Samsung devices. I don't know, just get an iPhone. Mahir says, I remember a video of yours from years ago where you said you could see AMD's future being bright enough that you'd buy the stock if you weren't an influencer. I did say that, and I think that worked out pretty well for anyone who bought AMD at that time. Yeah. Similarly, how do you see Intel's medium to long-term future? You're a good creator, much love. So in this case, my crystal ball...
No investment advice.
Yeah, I'm not a professional. I do not hold positions in either AMD or Intel because I apparently break my rules for Framework. Okay, with Framework, I really just believe in the mission. That's for realsies.
I think it's fair.
But I don't own any Intel. I don't own any AMD. No Microsoft, no Google, nothing like that. So with AMD, the vision was extremely clear. Intel had nothing on their roadmap for years, and I knew it. And everyone knew it. Like, it wasn't like insider information. Just Intel had nothing. Their roadmaps were out there. And AMD had everything on their roadmap. And no one cares about consumer, but AMD had killer stuff on their roadmap that was going to absolutely just annihilate what Intel had coming, which was nothing in the enterprise space. And so it was so utterly crystal clear to me that anyone who wasn't a big nerd keeping track of what Dr. Sue was doing over there was probably not onto this yet. So it probably wasn't priced into the stock. And normies were going to see win after win after win after win. They were going to go, this company's on fire, not realizing that they were basically competing in a one-horse race because Intel was just sitting on their butts. And so it was so clear to me. I was like, this is going to double, triple, quadruple. If it wasn't an enormous conflict of interest for me, I would just go for it, because sometimes stocks go up based on the company's actual performance. But that's where we run into trouble, because sometimes stocks go up and down based on things that have absolutely nothing to do with the company's performance. I mean,
memes, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, or you can have a factory flood, harming production, and all of a sudden the stock goes way up because your business gets way more profitable, like what happened to the hard drive guys back in the early 2010s, I guess it would have been, back when the Thailand floods happened. So it's complicated, right? I think Intel has an outstanding future. I see the kind of investment, I see the leadership they have now. Pat Gelsinger, it's just total game changer for them. I see the kind of openness that they have around communication now. Like they talk, they've got some swagger. It's great. I love the new Intel attitude. I love the investments that I'm seeing. We've got a silicon shortage, right? There's money to be made, and Intel is spending hand over fist on new fab capacity. That is, I mean, it's going to drive the world, right? You can't go wrong. You cannot make enough wafers. So then the solution is more fabs, because you're basically just a money printing machine at that point. And they know how to build a fab. They've got plenty of experience. I really like the concept where Intel is going to be manufacturing for third parties. I think they have an opportunity to be everything that Intel is, plus everything that TSMC is, rolled into one. I see just an incredible future for Intel. But unlike AMD, I do not see that Intel has no competition, right? So if you think about it like a sprint, right? Like Intel's going, they're freaking going, but they've got, guys like shoulder to shoulder with them also going.
Yeah, because the previous AMD race, like Linus was saying, there was effectively no Intel there. So now there's running partners. And
that's the thing, is like, because stocks don't necessarily have to do with profitability, like regardless of whatever else happens, Intel's going to be making like shed loads of money, but that doesn't always drive a stock up, right? So it's
people
more,
might not like the stock.
Yeah, people just want to see those
maybe
big,
they just like a different stock.
They want to see those big W's, right?
Yeah.
And you want the news cycle in order to drive the stock price up, to get normies interested in it. So you know what? I'm not a professional. This is not advice. I would probably be buying Intel today if I was going to invest in Intel, but I would not be doing it with the same kind of confidence that I would have done for AMD at Computex 2018 or 2019 or whatever it was when I made that video. Right. Because when I made that video, I was like very sure. I would have comfortably put my entire net worth in AMD at that point if I had thought that was an ethical thing to do, and I would have made a lot of money. But
tons.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. It's one of those things. It's just like, I knew. Like,
there's so many of those though, but then there's also the wins, right? There's things that you do invest in that work out. So you just got to kind of move on.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And it's not that I didn't do it and like I like regret it because I didn't have the balls. It's like I didn't do it because it was not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Jeffrey J. Where's the $80,000 10K lumen Sony projector? Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, we wanted to do a video about that. Oh wait, my new theater room. Oh well, no, I don't need that for my theater room. We did want to do a video about that though. Apparently, according to Rob H from AV Rant, JVC has really good HDR tone mapping, so I'm looking into their products as opposed to Sony's products.
Cool.
Where are the separate amps? I'm disappointed. Love the channel. Been watching for 10 years. Okay, my theater room is supposed to be high-end reasonable. That's what I'm going for. Jonathan G, when are the Stealth desk pads dropping? No time soon, but they will come. They will come. Dominic, thanks for the great customer service. Hey, no freaking problem. Jonathan G, see you later. Alexander, looking to buy some hardware to run a local server at my house. Probably just storage and Plex. Any recommendations, or should I just get something off Craigslist? We did a video recently where Anthony showed you how you can turn your old computer into a server. It's not particularly energy efficient, so that's a concern. But given how difficult it is to get your hands on brand new hardware that's affordable, might be not a bad way to go.
Yeah.
Quality, like I would take a quality older power supply over a new crappy one for sure. So I'm always all about that secondhand market. Taylor Kays asks, what's the difference between the LTT chiller and the new chiller from this month? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Okay, so the original LTT chiller was chilling liquid. So you were chilling a reservoir of water cooling fluid, which was car antifreeze because, I shouldn't say antifreeze, windshield wiper fluid. So it's windshield wiper fluid because antifreeze gets kind of jelly and what's the opposite of viscous? So low viscosity. It gets low viscosity. And it's really difficult to pump because I think it's the glycol that causes problems. Right. So you use windshield wiper fluid. It's good down to about minus 20 degrees Celsius or something like that. And then you use a normal pump as long as it's can handle the alcohol content in the windshield wiper fluid. So we've got like these little giant pumps that are like aquarium pumps. And it would go around to just like a water block, and you'd have to insulate the lines because they're chilled liquid. So basically it's a water cooling loop, but instead of the radiator, you've got the evaporator side of an air conditioner submersed in the reservoir. The new one is a phase change, like direct to CPU cooler. So instead of the evap being submerged in liquid that gets pumped around to the CPU, the evap is directly bolted onto the CPU. So that's the difference. More efficient heat transfer. Peter H, could you do a video on the state of current home lab, home server, self-hosting software? Example, Plex, own cloud home assistant. Yeah, de-Googlify your life has been a video in our doc for like ever. We just haven't gotten around to it. So yes, we do need to do that. It's just a lot of work. Alex C, in a recent video, you mentioned that 3200 mega transfer per second CL16 RAM was budget at best or bargain bin at worst. Do you recommend a higher tier RAM of 3200? 3200 CL16. Did I say that was budget at best, bargain bin at worst? It's pretty solid. So yeah, no, just go with that. That's fine. Save a buck. I mean, obviously, like 3200 CL14 would be better. Yeah, I think actually 3200 CL16 has gotten pretty cheap, hasn't it? It's still good. It's fine. You'll be fine. Dominic says, can we get an Anthony video around Rancher, Docker, and other fun? Didn't know that was possible videos. There has to be a point. There has to be a reason to talk about Docker. You're not just going to do a video like about Docker. I think we did a tech quickie about Docker, actually. There has to be a project that makes it make sense to talk about Docker, and we have talked about Docker. Happy New Year, Luke. And the guy who told me to put pennies in wall sockets.
That's like half the reason I
all right, thank you for that.
No problem.
Link8 says, I found my underwear receipt. Don't really feel it was $50 worth, but COVID shirt is great. Who was the probationary writer on the weird keyboard touchpad with swappable mats? That writer's name was Jesse. I found my underwear receipt. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Okay. There's some weird curated merch messages in here, Luke.
I wanted I try to keep the questions in, but right. He had the second part of that was essentially why I was including that in there.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, Andrew B. Hey, Linus and Luke, loving everything I've gotten so far from LTTStore. Got a mystery shirt, display t-shirt, case t-shirt. I'm thinking about ordering a WAN hoodie and was wondering if you could show what the inside of the sleeves look like. Oh, yeah, sure. We do need more pictures. I know. We need some like close-ups. We had some people complain about the French terry. They're like, this is so rough. I can't stand it on my skin. But some people have like kind of a sensory sensitivity to this. Oh. See, for me, those people might be expecting like a fleecy interior. I have a super like hypersensitivity to fleece that makes me feel really uncomfortable. So that's why we use this. And I understand that you don't like it, but it is not actually a rough material for most people, and most people wouldn't notice it, but you might have a sensitivity to it. So we need to make sure that we have better like macro photography of the inside. So here's what the inside of the left sleeve looks like. You've got your thumb hole thing. The sleeve construction is kind of bulky. It takes a little while of breaking it in to be able to like roll it up, and even then it doesn't come up all the way. It's just part of having that sort of thumb hole thing on it. What else is on here? So you got your interior pocket. It's like a super complex garment to make, actually. So there's all the seams on the inside. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but good old WAN hoodie.
I'm one of the group that is very on board with the kind of like terry cloth style interior. And anything that's almost like too soft, I find kind of almost irritating.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I also find it not as breathable. Whereas these, I manage to wear them even when it's not super cold.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into the WAN show. Really appreciate you all. Happy New Year. It might even be the new year already where you're watching from. So, ringing it in. You're going to stay up till midnight?
Do you want a game?
I don't know if I can game tonight, but maybe.
I mean, that probably makes sense.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I just stopped caring about New Year's like a long time ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's kind of just another day.
Yeah. Bye. You guys do the pots and pans thing?
Maybe when the kids are a little older, we can stay up to midnight. Oh crap! I never. Right, I knew there was something I was supposed to talk about.
Oh, the screwdriver.
Yeah. I didn't. Okay. Yeah. Shows brought by Squarespace and BuildRedux and Ridwell. Okay. We're back. So this is from the new ratchet manufacturer. So this is a bad one. You can see it has a lot of play here.
Oh, wow,
You can feel it, actually. You can feel the horizontal play.
Yeah.
A little bit of vertical play is normal.
Yeah.
So, like, if you pop it out, that's just super normal. So this is from the ratchet manufacturer that we want to use, we think.
Oh, yeah. It's
pretty solid. You can ratchet it, too.
It's a very, like, reasonable, understandable amount of movement.
Yeah.
This one...
Yeah, no, that was not a good thing.
Doesn't seem as good.
It's got a good sound. So, yes, screwdriver is progress. It's going to take time, but this is pretty close to what should be final.
I really like, I don't know if I've talked to you about this, but how it's not screwed on. It's just like very nicely, I guess, friction held.
It's magnetic.
Magnetic. Ah.
Yeah, that's why it feels so good.
Yeah. Feels great. I hate anytime I need a bit. Okay, I gotta unscrew this thing.
No, it's
and then I'm gonna lose the cap somewhere. Then I gotta try to get that back on. It's just
Mega Pro has a great mechanism that we love. We just didn't like their handle design.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.